We are in the middle of SAT testing season, and gone are the days of number 2 pencils and filling in ovals.
Yes, WCNC Charlotte is helping you get ahead this year with what students and parents need to know about the new digital SAT this year. It's all changing.
That's right. And those ovals were always so annoying to try to fill in all of it in the line. The SAT has moved from the traditional paper and pencil to a digital format. Administrators say the test will be easier to give, easier to take, and more relevant. Sean Patel, the founder and CEO of Prep Expert, joining us with the changes we can expect this year.
For the first time in almost 100 years, the SAT is going digital.
Patel says it's going to be the same test we've seen in the past, but with some key changes.
It's going to be a much shorter exam. So it's only 98 questions. Back when I took the SAT, and probably when a lot of parents listening to this took the SAT, it used to be 150 to 200 questions.
The math section of the SAT will also look different this year. Patel says students can now use a calculator.
On the old paper-based SAT, there used to be a no calculator section, so that's gone.
One of the biggest changes, Patel says the test will now be adaptive, meaning the better you do, the harder the questions you will get. And if you do worse, the questions will become easier.
If they don't score well, they'll see easier questions, but it'll limit how high they can score on the digital SAT.
Patel says this change from paper and pencil to digital was only a matter of time.
Students are so accustomed to learning online. Everyone's accustomed to working online.
More major universities now reinstating the SAT requirements that were abandoned during COVID. And Patel says this will actually benefit low-income and underprivileged students the most.
That's very counterintuitive to what most people would have thought. But if you think about it, it actually makes sense, because if you get rid of standardized test scores, what are you going to value more? Typically, it's going to be extracurricular activities. And so who can afford the best summer programs? Who can afford to start nonprofits and play sports like water polo and golf? Generally not going to be your urban teenager from a low-income household.
So get ready for a sea change in the SATs as they're jumping from score sheet to the screen. Guys, I don't know if I could take it again.
I would just be worried about what he had talked about, right? If the questions are getting easier or harder.
Right. Would you purposely try to do poorly so you can get easier questions?
I don't know. I'm glad I just had to fill in the bubbles.
I'm thinking about the left-handed folks like I was, filling in those bubbles and they're like smearing all over the place.